Hi there. Welcome to episode 34 in my series 100 Casts. This is the series in which I shoutcast over 100 games of League of Legends sent in to me by fans and friends. If you'd like your replay to be featured on the series, check the description. You can figure out how to do that down there. Anyways, I'll see you at the end of the video. Have a good one. Hey there guys, this is number 34 in my series 100 Casts. I believe the replay was sent in to me by the top laner for blue team. Yes, the top laner for blue team, the Lee Sin. Sent in to me by him. Many thanks going out his way. This is a replay from a slightly lower level game. By the way, I'm not picky about what replays I get sent in. I will not turn you down if you are bronze or if you are silver, and I certainly won't turn you down if you're challenger or diamond either. I take replays from the entire spectrum of rankings, ranked 5s as well. I especially like ranked 5s replays. Those offer a good amount more in terms of ability to analyze the strategical depth of the play, since it is assumed that the 5s team can communicate with each other in some way, even if it's just league chat, and that they'll listen to each other's communications. Hopefully that's not an overly optimistic thing to assume with the majority of 5s teams. And that means that things like map play and strategic positioning in terms of the entirety of the map, rather than simply a team fight or a single screen's worth of space, can be effectively talked about because they actually exist in 5v5 matches, whereas in solo queue it's more just team intuition and happenstance, depending on which level of play you're at. Happenstance is more often an occurrence down at the lower levels of play. But yeah, this is a fairly lower level replay, so we might see a lot more action and a good amount less map control and strategic movement. So it'll be testing my hype and play-by-play ability to cast more than my color and analysis, but I've got to get practice down on both, so I'm certainly not gonna say no to a replay. Anyways, let's get into the matchup, shall we? We do, down in the bottom lane, have a Taric and a Quinn. Now, one of the reasons why I bring that up specifically first is, one, because it's bot lane and that's usually where I start, but two, because Taric has chosen to go Ghost instead of Flash. Now, I don't know about that. I can see the merit in it with Taric because it allows you to stick to the enemy and make sure that you can proc his passive after every ability usage. With that extra movement speed, you'll be sure to get those auto attacks in. Taric's passive, by the way, Gemcraft, has been through a number of reworks, but the most recent iteration of it is essentially a sort of mini Sheen. After using an ability, he gets extra bonus damage on his next auto attack based off of, I believe, his level and his armor, though I may be incorrect. It's a fairly obscure and not very commonly played champion, and thus not very commonly brought up ability, but I believe that is the gist of it. But yeah, as I said, Taric's not very commonly played, and neither is Quinn, at least not as an AD carry. She's seen a lot more play as a top laner / assassin kind of champion recently. Sometimes mid, even, rather than an AD carry, simply because of her short range and inability to really keep up with the harass that a lot of enemy AD carries can put out, such as this Misfortune, who's done quite a good job of harassing down the Taric so far. He's down to about half health, and the Quinn has not really been able to answer back very well. Bot lane already kind of going in the favor of blue team here, just about 3.5 minutes into the game. Some of the other matchups that I'd like to get into is the top lane, actually. We have a Lee Sin and a Xin Zhao, two typically jungle champions, but talking about the top lane matchup, Lee Sin's going in, going aggressive, and getting the first blood. Damn, that was a lot more damage than I expected him to be able to put out there. I guess Xin Zhao does have a good amount of damage potential, and so he gets the first blood for purple team in the top lane, and down in bottom lane we see that Taric's trying to go in onto this Misfortune. Might have bitten off a bit more than he could chew, though. That final auto attack gonna follow him past the minion wave and hit him in the back. He goes down. Misfortune picking up a kill back for blue team there down in bottom lane. 1-1 on the scoreboard, and actually blue team has the gold advantage currently, and I think that's most likely going to be able to be attributed to the fact that they have the CS lead in every single lane, actually. Looking across the board, they do in fact have a lead in every single lane, which is rather impressive as far as team play goes. So even though they did give up the first blood and the kill they got back wasn't worth quite as much, they are keeping up, well, more than keeping up in terms of gold, simply because they're out-farming their opponents fairly well. Lux taking a few tower shots for her harass there. Not quite sure that was worth the snare, Lux, but hey, sometimes you don't realize how close you are to the tower. It happens to the best of us. She at least did not go down for it. She's still alive and kicking, and she can pop some of those health potions. She can get back some of those hit points. Some nice damage being laid down onto the enemy Taric there, while up in top lane, Lee Sin lands the Q, goes in on it, but doesn't want to follow any further. The tower already targets him. He doesn't want to keep diving under that. That would be a little bit too dangerous for him. Even as mobile and slippery a champion that Lee Sin can be, I don't think he's quite that elusive. Towers can still target him at least a few times before he manages to escape. Lee Sin going in onto the minion with the cube as the Xin Zhao follows up. Audacious charge, and then the rest of his arsenal being used, but stopping before he finally gets the knockup as Heimerdinger nearly gets the kill onto Katarina. The laser from the turret, not quite enough. Audacious charges back up. The Xin Zhao is going in with 3 Talon Strike, and he gets all 3 Talons off, but does not manage to get the kill. Does manage to force the Lee Sin's flash, though. Didn't have anything to safeguard to right away, so forced to flash away from that engagement rather than just using his W cooldown. So that is a very long cooldown burned for basically nothing for the Xin Zhao's side. But we seem to have a bit of a quieter moment, and builds are starting to germinate, so I'd like to take a look at some of those. Looks like Lux is going for a good amount of mana in this lane. Going to be trying to poke out the enemy lane comp, which makes some good sense there. Taric's certainly not going to be able to poke back as hard as she will, and Quinn's fairly short-ranged herself, so Lux probably going for the right pickup there. Maybe going to be building into a Chalice of Harmony and then a Mikhail's Crucible, but it looks like Quinn wanting to go in for a fight here gets snared up as she leaps forward, and then the wrench follows after Katarina through her Shunpo in middle lane. She gets destroyed by the Heimerdinger. And Master Yi getting invaded on by Kha'Zix and Xin Zhao out of the top lane. Forced to flash over the wall away from his white camp. That's got to suck for him. Make it rain as well as a snare landing onto the Taric. He's being taken down very low. Lux really wants this, takes 2 tower shots, but decides it isn't worth a third or perhaps even more, and backs away from that. Taric manages to escape with very little of his hit points left. Meanwhile, up in top lane, Lee Sin's in a bit of a dangerous situation, forced to use the Dragon's Rage to create some distance from the Xin Zhao, and manages to successfully escape. But that wasn't ulti burned. Once more, for basically nothing. These cooldowns are just being blown left and right from the Lee Sin, and Xin Zhao's not really doing much but audaciously charging his direction to make him use them. Anyways, I was talking about builds earlier. Looks like Katarina's going for some straight AP here. It might be working in her favor, but I haven't talked about this mid lane matchup yet, and I really do want to put it in the hands of Heimerdinger there. Katarina can assassinate the Heimerdinger if given the opportunity to. Heimerdinger is very squishy, and Katarina does a lot of damage, especially later on in the game, but Heimerdinger is just going to burn through this laning phase with a zealous push that the Katarina's just not going to have any methods of stopping. Like, those 3 turrets plus a rockets to the minion wave, and the minion wave's just entirely gone. And Katarina is okay at farming under tower. She doesn't have any mana cost, so that's up, down, and bottom lane. Taric nearly going down. 50 health after the Lux laser comes across his face. And Katarina trying to go in for the fight here. She uses Death Lotus, does a bunch of damage back into the Heimerdinger. The Ignite is dropped as well. She goes down to the turrets in the end, but the post-mortem kill for Shady Cow coming out onto X-Friend XD. Heimerdinger falling in the middle lane. Just like I said, he is squishy and can go down, but he had a defensive line set up of turrets, and so he did manage to get the kill back, despite falling to the Ignite right thereafter. I was talking about builds, wasn't I? Speaking of builds, the Xin Zhao's going the full AD build so far. I mean, we are only 8.5 minutes into this matchup, but so far it's a very offensive build, as is the Lee Sin's. So both top laners opting to go for a full class cannon route so far. Lee Sin building into that pickaxe and a longsword, could be going either a Ravenous Hydra or a Last Whisper. I would personally suggest the Ravenous Hydra. It allows for more wave push if he needs it, though the thing about it is that it demands wave push up in top lane. Audacious charge onto the Lee Sin, but he uses the last charge of 3 Talon Strike to knock him a minion. Meanwhile, down in bottom lane, Bullet Time comes across the Taric, but only the Taric, and Quinn is going up huge here. Oh, is the Ignite going to be enough? Not nearly, as now up in top lane, the Lee Sin's being jumped onto, and there is so much action I cannot cover it all, but no one has died. That is the end result here from both fights, but maybe not from this third fight. Actually, yes. The Heimerdinger forced to flash away from Katarina, who did Shunpo in with the Death Lotus, but Well, actually, Death Lotus for a Flash is certainly a cooldown trade that I would take any day of the week. So, Heimerdinger coming out behind in that trade, as Lee Sin has roamed down to bottom lane, trying to make a gank happen here. The final spark comes across, the Tara gets snared up, Lee Sin gonna land the Sonic Wave onto Tarek, then go back under the tower, and Lux traded out the tower aggro just in time to save his life for a little bit longer, but Quinn was around and shot out a few of those crossbow bolts, as now she's in bird form and she's swinging with those feathery wings that are apparently sharp and very deadly. And actually doesn't manage to pick up the kill until Lux. A very nicely timed snare going to stop that Valor up right in its tracks. Anyways, we did have some builds to talk about, especially Kha'Zix's build. Now, you'll often see... Actually, I expected Master Yi more than Kha'Zix to go with this build, but you'll often... Oh my god, the Katarina's going in for the kill here onto Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger has popped his ult, but he's not going to use anything with it. And Xin Zhao roaming out of the top lane, going to finish off that kill. Xin Zhao is 2-0 now. He's starting to snowball out of control a little bit. He has the CS lead already on Lee Sin, as well as a 2-kill lead up on the dude. This might be a little bit difficult for Lee Sin to come back from in the lane, especially considering that his late game is not exactly where he shines. He's got to get that lead early, and then he can start to do a lot with it. But he's not out of the fight yet. He is only about 7 CS behind. The 2 kills onto him are going to be a bit of a detriment, but you don't lose gold for dying, at least. So he does still have a decent amount of gold in his pocket, just not nearly as much as his laning opponent. Basically, he's going to have to not fight this Xin Zhao unless he gets a very favorable opportunity to do so, because Xin Zhao is one of what I like to call binary champions. He's either on or off. He either can press all of his buttons and do enough damage to kill you, or press all of his buttons and not do enough damage to kill you. Down in bottom lane, the Dazzle landing onto Miss Fortune while she's under the tower. She's forced to flash away as Final Spark and Bullet Time both come across on the Gem Knight. But he just is too tanky. With Shatter up and running, and a heal to come across as well. He's very, very hard to bring down, and both ultimates from blue team are burned there. They did bring down a lot of his hit points, but not quite all of them. Xin Zhao has picked up a Blade of the Ruined King already. As I said, he was starting to get out of control in that lane, and the Blade of the Ruined King certainly does scale very well with his... Oh, the Heimerdinger using the ulti on his rockets there. I don't know if that was really the best time to do it, but he does clear out the minion wave very effectively. Nearly hits Katarina as well. Oh, the grenade... Not going to be quite in range to finish off that kill for him. Just going to throw some wrenches at the turret. Bring that down a little bit more. Kha'Zix trying to go for the kill here, but there are too many turrets. I really don't think it's favorable for him to keep going in that fight. But we swap down to bottom lane where Miss Fortune and Lux have taken down the first turret of the game. Then they bring down Tarek as well, and Quinn forced to walk away. Well, actually, in that case, was walking away. Now she's flying, though. She's coming back into the battle. She wants to go for this kill. There is a ward in the bush. You can see that Miss Fortune's going back to base. She comes out of the Valor ulti form, dealing that AoE damage, but it's not going to be quite enough to bring down the MF. And the Lux gets the kill back. And Kha'Zix now trying to get something to happen here with the Heimerdinger, as up in top lane, Lee Sin is getting leapt upon by the Xin Zhao. Does turn around with the Dragon Rage, has barely any hit points left. There's pings coming out into the Lee Sin. The Xin Zhao wants somebody's assistance, but there's no one around to assist. Lee Sin has made too much distance. He's going to be able to escape. Now Xin Zhao trying to cut him off, going around the corner here. Master Yi does see him going into the jungle, though, so I doubt that Lee Sin's going to go anywhere near that. As Heimerdinger comes around, he pops the ulti. What's he going to do with it? Master Yi has found Xin Zhao in the jungle, and this Xin Zhao is dead meat. He nearly brings down the Master Yi, though. Very nicely timed Meditate. Avoids a good amount of the damage from the Crescent Sweep. And so Lee Sin actually gets the kill back onto Xin Zhao, and that is very nice for him. He is going with that Ravenous Hydra build, as I mentioned earlier, and he hasn't yet finished it off, whereas the Xin has finished off his Blade of the Ruined King, so he has completed his first core item, whereas Lee Sin has not, so he's going to need that gold to get back into this top lane matchup. Katarina going in with the Death Lotus, trying to make something happen here. She's getting burned down pretty quickly, though. The laser comes across, and so does Lux's laser, but it's a little bit late. Heimerdinger already picked that one up with his little mini turret laser, so Lux's laser not really going to be too effective there. But hey, they still got the kill on Katarina. What's done is done. Down in bottom lane, Miss Fortune trying her best to deal with this huge minion wave. Poking at the Tarek as she does so, too. Tarek throws out a Dazzle. He's had enough of this. He goes into the tower and shatters, but he took a tower shot for that, too. This Tarek has been taking a ton of harass, and now Lux has shown up. She might go for something here. Quinn and Tarek are a little bit out of position if MF can get here in time, but she's not roaming up from the turret. Now Lux is in a 2v1 situation, and Tarek is going to turn around, heal himself to survive through the bullet time. Lux manages to escape with only about 300 hit points left, but so does Tarek. So both supports getting into very dangerous situations there, but neither one actually falling for it. As Xin Zhao's trying to get a gank down here, roamed all the way from top lane to try and make something happen. Might be able to bring down this Lux. Uses Audacious Charge onto the Misfortune. She's going down very quickly. Blade the Ruin King active, going to help Xin Zhao stick to her. As Tarek pops goes to try and go into this tower, but maybe Quinn can finish it off. She flashes forward. The tower shot gives Lux a killing spree. Quinn didn't quite have the distance to vault. Now Lee Sin has roamed out of top lane, nearly went down, as Heimerdinger has roamed down here as well, and it's a 4v1 situation for the Yordle Inventor. He is not going to last very long. Katarina picking that one up, but she's... Xin Zhao, why are you trying to fight the turret? Lee Sin picks up that kill with a final Q, and now Master Yi is here with Highlander running, and this is the fight that never ends. Lee Sin gets the double kill so far. Safeguards to the Master Yi. He picks up the Kazakhs as now Master Yi turns around to try and finish off this Katarina. She has Death Lotus back up from the beginning of this fight. There wasn't a reset. She didn't get a reset recently. That fight lasted long enough that the Death Lotus cooldown after one assist reset could come back up. So, oh Bronze, how I love you. Misfortune now going to be coming to the bot lane to push that up as Quinn shows up as well. And we finally have a moment of quiet. And I can finally look at some of the builds. Actually, speaking of Misfortune, looks like she's going with an Infinity Edge Rush. I can approve of that. The large amount of AD that's going to be giving her will help her scale with her ulti, as well as the crit chance scaling with attack speed in a way. The more attacks you get off, the more times you can crit. So, up in top lane though, looks like Xin Zhao want to be going for a fight here with the Lee Sin. Lee Sin decides to take the fight rather than running. At the very end, he tries to safeguard away to a minion, but the Xin Zhao flashes after him, lands an auto and ignites. Shutdown gold actually going to Xin Zhao, and Lee Sin was on a killing spree. That's quite a turnaround. He was 0-2 a while ago, and now he's gotten to be 4-3, and he's still building glass cannons, so he's going to be doing quite a bit of damage. I mean, he goes down fairly quickly, as we saw in that engage against the Xin Zhao, but he will do some good damage in these later fights. Though, to be fair, as the fights get even later, that damage will then fall off, and if he doesn't build some tankiness, he will have a difficult time staying alive in the late game. Tarek nearly going down. Bullet time, the very edge of it. Catching him just long enough to bring him down as Master Yi finishes off the dragon. And I was talking about the Kazakhs build earlier, but I'll talk about something else with Kazakhs, actually. He tries to jump over the wall, but doesn't quite make it. That was very silly looking, as now the Lux is under fire, but she has way too much ability to kite backwards. Sandwich on the Misfortune, gonna pick up the kill back on the Kazakhs, as now Quinn's forced into Valor to try and escape, but she's gonna turn it around. She's gonna be going in under the Misfortune, blinds her, picks up that kill easily, barely taking any damage in the process, thanks to a very well-timed blind. And now Lux has no mana. Lux gets marked by Valor. Double kill for Quinn. Well played by her. Knowing her damage potential, turning around, picking up the double kill in a 2v1 situation. Realizing that she didn't have to be frightened and run away just because her Kazakhs died so quickly. Lux didn't have any mana left, so very good read on the situation by Quinn. Heimerdinger again with the copious amounts of rockets, none of them seemingly aimed at Katarina. It wasn't even a minion wave that time. Not really much I can say about that, as Kazakhs is roaming to the mid lane, going to be trying to get a gank off here. Nah, actually not. Just going to be helping the Katarina clear out the minions. Speaking of Katarina, she went dangerously low next to those turrets. If she had stuck around for a little bit longer, they might have been able to take her out. But speaking of sticking around, perhaps the Heimerdinger stuck around a bit too long himself. Yes, he did. Xin Zhao roaming out of the top lane. Crescent Sweep going to pick up that kill, as now Lee Sin is here trying to go for the fight. Wants to get the Kazakhs, flashes forward to use his Dragon's Rage just as the Kazakhs attempts to leap away to safety. Lee Sin picking up the kill, but giving up the double kill to Xin Zhao in the process. Now Master Yi is here in the mid lane. Will we be seeing another fight? You know, I really wouldn't doubt it. Alpha Strike used on the minion wave to clear it forward, and he's going to wander away as Katarina shows up. Doesn't want a piece of that 2v1 action. And I was talking about the Kazakhs' build earlier. No, Quinn not going for a fight here, so I do have a moment to talk about it. Oh, he did just sell them, actually, but he had a Madred's as well as a Spirit Stone, and now he has neither. So I was going to question both, but I will also question neither. He is in fact the jungler for his team. So having one of the jungle items would have been a good pickup. Solid decision. Having both as Kazac's not the best choice, but down in bottom lane, the Lux, with that amount of burst coming out of the support Lux, does pick up the Taric, but Xin Zhao is here. Xin Zhao, why are you running to the bush? Xin, the Lux has next to no mana, no cooldowns were up. You could have... One more auto from him would have finished off that kill nearly for certain, but he was a little bit too frightened of the potential of the Lux turning around and taking him down, so he decided to break vision and jump into the bush to put himself in fog of war from the enemy team, but the Lux might still go down here if she sticks around. The Quinn is around. Quinn does have ult. She goes in, and that's an easy kill under the tower for Zozrel, as now Lee Sin is roamed down, gets the shutdown gold off of that Xin Zhao. However, Heimerdinger's chasing after the Quinn after she comes out of her tower dive, but Kha'Zix and Katarina are hot on his tail. Pops the ulti, but isn't using it for anything yet. Quinn turning around, misses the blind, but does land the vault. It is a targeted skill after all. He goes into the Zonias after dropping the ulti turret. It's doing a ton of work. Then ZX Nitro shows up, killing off Shady Cow. And now Quinn and Kha'Zix are on the retreat. Kha'Zix going into his ulti to get that invisibility and the speed boost to try and escape. As now Quinn's in a 1v1 with the Heimerdinger, but the blind stopping the damage from the wrench is going to be just enough to save Zozel's life and get him the turnaround kill onto Heimerdinger. Kha'Zix did actually go down off to the side there. Misfortune picking up that one. And you know, we haven't actually looked at the overall yet because of all the action that continues to interrupt me whenever I try to look at anything but what's happening immediately on the screen. But Blue Team does have a 4-1 turret lead and a 6 kill lead as well. All translating to a fairly hefty gold lead, but I digress. Up in top lane, the Lee Sin is getting the kill here onto Taric. Dragon's Rage going to be doing enough damage to finish him off, and he... Okay then, Katarina, using your full combo there. The Misfortune nearly going down, and Xin Zhao, oh my god, the damage coming out from Xin Zhao is just immense. And Lee Sin, of course, with his glass cannon build, is not able to survive under that sort of fire. He goes down very quickly. Nothing but a Ravenous Hydra and a Last Whisper to his name, though he did just pick up a Warden Smell. That's a good direction to go, I think. Does need a little bit more tankiness to be able to survive in these fights, especially later on, when going glass cannon is not the best option for a Lee Sin, generally speaking. Quinn got hit by the very edge of the light binding from Lux, but not anything else, except the Heimerdinger stun and the rockets, and now she got hit by the Lucent Singularity, and then Final Spark, just skill shot after skill shot landing onto the Quinn, and that is not a sustainable situation to be in, especially for someone as squishy as a Quinn AD carry. She goes down very easily. Blue Team picking up another kill for themselves, have the man advantage on the board. Misfortune dropping bullet time just for the damage. Actually, Master Yi going to be capitalizing on that, going in and getting the kill onto Xin Zhao. Kha'Zix turns around and brings him down, though, but they do get the turret as... That is unfortunate for Heimerdinger. Dropped the ulti rockets, and once more did they not land with their target, this time being blocked out by a full minion wave. You did get all that CS, though. Consolation prize. Blue Team has shown up here in force. They have 4 members. Purple Team, however, is respawning, is running back. I don't think this is going to be the first inhibitor tower of the game unless it's down in pot lane, where Lee Sin has been split pushing. Might be able to get something, but Katarina taking advantage of the man advantage that Purple Team has, trying to go in to get the kills back here. Lux and Misfortune are doing a pretty good job of kiting back. They do manage to pick up a double kill for Misfortune. Heimerdinger goes down, though, to the Katarina, and now Quinn is chasing after. Quinn gets 1 kill. Quinn gets another kill. Double kill back for Purple Team as well. Now Lee Sin going to be coming around from behind, trying to finish off this kill into Quinn. Lands the Sonic Wave, goes in with the Resonating Strike. Can he do the burst necessary? He cannot. Quinn vaults away to create some distance, then tosses back the blind. Lee Sin goes down. Triple kill for Quinn. Nicely played by Purple Team there. Good defense of their base, realizing that Blue Team had overstayed their welcome. Weren't really able to fight them anymore, despite having some good Heimerdinger turret setups. They brought him down as quickly as possible to remove him from the team fight, as now Master Yi's trying to go after this lone Taric. Cannot be slowed and cannot be stopped. Taric gonna be going down there as Xin Zhao soloing out the dragon for his team. This would certainly be a good pickup for their team. They only have 1 turret on the board still, so getting some of the global gold into their pockets would really help to equalize this game out and get them back onto an even footing with Blue Team. Which they kind of have to do if they want to hope to win this game, because while Lee Sin does fall off to this late game, Master Yi does not. They certainly don't have nothing in this late game. And Heimerdinger is just... The Heimerdinger Misfortune combo, I really rather like that. They can do quite a bit of AoE burst damage in a team fight, as Kha'Zix nearly gets caught out there. Coming around the corner, Heimerdinger grenade would have spelled his doom, but didn't quite connect. And they're going to be pushing up the mid lane again. Heimerdinger's very good at that. Push the lanes. Just keep on pushing them lanes. Oh, Katarina, why are you walking through that way? The amount of harass she took from the turrets alone is pretty insane. Heimerdinger popped his ulti. Hasn't used it on anything yet, though. Let's see where he goes with that. Hasn't used any abilities yet. No, he's not going to... Oh, he does finally drop the ulti turret as Kha'Zix goes for the engage. And then the Master Yi turns around and finishes off that as the bullet time from Misfortune just lands across the entirety of Purple Team. That is not a situation that leads to a winning team fight if you're against an MF. Aced for Blue Team. They're going to get the first inhibitor turret of the game. First inhibitor as well. They could actually potentially go for the victory here if Master Yi doesn't go back to base. Looks like he wants to, though. Going to be playing it safe, I suppose. Not actually going for the victory here at about 25 minutes into the game. That would be a little bit of an early victory if they managed to pull it off. But I've seen earlier. They're going to stick around as 4 going for this Nexus turret. They're going to be trying to bring it down as quickly as they can. They really only have the Misfortune and Lee Sin to bring it down quickly, but that's enough. They get one of the Nexus turrets and then nearly bring down Kha'Zix on the turnaround. Final spark not going to be quite enough to bring him down as Quinn gets the solo kill onto Heimerdinger, trying to chase forward desperately. Katarina Shunpo's in, but gets instantly deleted by the burst from Lee Sin. He is doing a lot of damage to his credit. His build makes him rather squishy. Still hasn't finished off a single full tank item. Though he is working on a Randuin's Omen. But he does a lot of damage. So Katarina underestimating the amount that he can put out and falling for it. That's a 7-1 turret lead for Blue Team. That's a pretty intense lead. I don't know if Purple Team can really come back from that too effectively unless they put up some sort of really, really powerful turtle to help them out, and that's going to be very difficult for them to do with only one Nexus turret left and a fully open mid lane. They don't even have the inhibitor there to protect the Nexus, or it doesn't really protect it, but it's another chunk of health that the enemy team has to burn through before they're allowed to start attacking your Nexus. And basically, they have to stall until their inhibitor respawns, then stall until they can win a team fight, then stall until they can win another, and then win. They've dug themselves into a hole, and they have to try and climb back out. But the tower getting engaged on into Master Yi. However, Purple Team is up doing the Baron right now, and Blue Team is investing a lot for this Taric. Purple Team could actually get the Baron back, and this could be quite good for them. Taric is definitely going to go down. Here's Heimerdinger coming around the corner, drops the grenade. Taric goes down as the Baron brings down Xin Zhao as well. Well, I guess Blue Team knows that they're doing it now, but it is way too late. Kha'Zix gets the secure on that. And there's only 3 members of their team wearing the buff, to be fair, and there's a Lee Sin with super minions pushing up the mid lane. He teleported there. This is dangerous for them. He's a lot of damage, and 2 super minions helping them out. This Nexus turret is going to fall, and he's going to be targeting the Nexus next, and his team's all showing up in force. Heimerdinger already has the ult activated. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He drops the turret. He knows they're going to win this team fight. Bullet time comes across. Final spark comes across. Lee Sin diving onto the fountain to finish off the kill as the game goes over to Blue Team. Well played, good game. I'll see you all tomorrow.